So this video here was actually filmed back in 2017, and the reason it never really saw the light of day was because I wasn't happy with the exhaust. I was running a standard 4A GE back in the day, and it just didn't sound real good. Since then, we've built a fully worked 7A GE engine for this car, and it's really livened up the exhaust, and I'm actually quite happy with it now. So I figured I'd get the old footage out, edit it up, and show you guys what it sounds like. So I finally got something in the mail last week that I've been waiting for about 2 months for. And it's a full exhaust system. And I am stoked. It's even better than what I was expecting. I've got the original one here. Well, I'll get out of the shadow out of the shot. That's just the standard ae86 with its catalytic converter, with its headers. And here I have some Toda 4:2:1 headers and a Fujitsubo Legalis R Exhaust. It was like the longest 2 months of my life. The reason I brought the original exhaust out was I wanted to match up the length, and it seems to be exactly the same as the Toda headers. And the Fujitsubo exhaust on the listing said that it needs a catalytic converter. So I'm assuming this one here is going to fit in between there on the car. If it doesn't, well then I haven't spent any money on a high flow cat yet. It's just a test fit it, just a temporary fit just to see. At the moment I've got some really cheap knockoff Chinese headers. They're 4:1. And I actually felt as though when I put them on the car, I changed these ones out for the ones that are on the car now, and it actually felt as though there was less power, which is like, you know, absolutely sucked. I've got some scales here just to give you an idea of what these things weigh. So these are the standard headers, 7.5 kilo. Might try to do it the other way. Here we go, 9.1, that's what I got last time. And my new Toda headers, although there seems like there's a lot more pipe work, and like it's got thicker pipes because it's not cast iron. Come on. Got 6 kilos on the dot. So a little bit of a weight saving, I won't notice it. That's pretty cool to know. I'll give you a closer look at them. They've got these really nice reinforcement tabs everywhere. A cool Toda stamp. The welds are, if I can get to focus, super nice. But yeah, absolute work of art. This is what I was actually waiting for. The exhaust is cool, but these are what I really wanted. A really cool thing that I didn't notice online was that the headers, they sort of come up a little bit. You can see there. So rather than just going down, they sort of come up and then back down. It's super cool. So I'm about to get to work now, chuck it all on, and see how we go. Okay, so I've already run into a couple of problems. The first one being one that I sort of expected, and the O2 sensor doesn't come off without sort of taking the headers halfway out, so that's no big deal. The second problem was my distributor, after I timed it, I've moved it in the way of the headers, so I couldn't take them off without actually turning the distributor like this to get it out of the way. I haven't got my timing light with me, so all I did was I made a couple of red marks here and here. On focus there, so that once I put everything back together I can start it up without my timing light and take it home. So one step at a time. So here's a look at the headers that were on the car. The El Cheapo Chinese knockoff headers. Look at those booger welds. There's been a repair there. So they keep cracking here where the pipes come onto the flange. That one there is cracked, hasn't been repaired yet. This one here seems to be holding up a bit better. Yeah, I think this one has sort of been repaired a little bit. The O2 sensor flange actually blew off and had to get welded back on as well. They're just absolute garbage. And you can see in comparison to the standard headers, I know someone's modified them, but they would not just bolt onto like a Fujitsubo or a standard exhaust. So that's why you don't buy cheap eBay headers. So I've got the exhaust laid out here in the garage just to give you a bit of a look before I whack the new one on the car, just as a bit of a comparison. One thing that stands out like a sore thumb to me is these bends on this custom exhaust that's was on my car. Real ugly creases in these bends here. I think this one's a bit worse for that. And if you just compare it to the Fujitsubo bends, we've got some nice mandrel bends. Much cleaner and smoother. Also this one here had a bit of a leak there. I'm sure it was leaking here too. It's harder to tell, this is a bit of black paint. When whoever painted it got a bit of overspray. And I'm also just looking at these headers, just these main tubes, they seem a lot skinnier. I haven't got anything to measure them with, but when I compare them to the Toda headers, they look an awful lot more restrictive. So next step is to whack it all into the car. Oh yeah. Whew. So as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't real happy with this exhaust back when I was running a standard 4A GE, but now that I've got the new 7A, it really does sound good. But having said that, we do believe that this exhaust is restricting my engine. It really should be a 200 horsepower engine, and it's definitely not making that. And we're putting it down to the fact that the exhaust is only 2 inches. So in the long term, I may not be keeping this exhaust, but just for now, I am pretty happy with how it sounds, and the car does feel awesome. So just going to drive it, put a few Ks on it, and just enjoy it.